Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Anil Gupta from University of Jammu. Today we are going to talk on the module Corporate Vision, Mission and Objectives from paper Strategic Management. After completing this module, you will be able to understand the role and meaning of corporate vision and mission. You'll be able to differentiate between these two terms, that is vision and mission. You'll also be able to describe the characteristics of an effective vision statement, as well as understand the concepts of goals and objectives. Dear students, we all know that organizations exist to create value for the shareholders, which means a company is an ongoing process and therefore it should have a proper goal that it really wants to achieve. Both these vision and mission are often considered as an essential part of the strategic management process. As we have discussed earlier, strategic intent is the foundation on the basis of which the entire working of an organization is based. In a business setup, it is at times difficult or impossible to agree on strategic and even tactical decisions. The major reason for this is potential conflict between the employees or lack of direction that the company has. So if everyone in the organization is not headed in the same direction or towards some common purpose, that difficulty is bound to exist. So therefore, both the vision and mission play a very critical role in identifying the common purpose and gives a sense of direction to each and every employee in the organization. Therefore, experts believe that if a shared mission, vision and values are developed within the organization, it ultimately builds a strong foundation for making all kind of strategic and tactical decisions that will ultimately help the business to grow. So in other words, what we can say is, if a company has a shared vision, mission and values, it will give a sense of purpose to everyone in the company that where are they heading to. And ultimately, whatever decision making is done in the organization will be towards achieving that common purpose. So that gives a high importance in understanding the concept of vision and mission. So let us see that what is the meaning of vision. Students' vision basically refers to what an organization aspires to be in the future. It basically acts like a company's roadmap and depicts what a company wants to become. This aspiration is very important. It's important for a company to know that what really it wants to become. In 1992, Nanas basically defines vision as realistic, credible, attractive future for an organization. Look at the three terms that which Nanas uses, which means it has to be realistic, it has to be credible, everyone should believe it, and it should also be an attractive. So the future has to be really attractive to motivate everybody to achieve that attractive future. So clarifying the vision of the company and communicating it to the employees of an organization can have powerful results. Students, just see that I'm talking of two things. First, clarifying the vision. So which means there should be crystal clear idea about what the company really wants to become. And second important dimension is that the vision should be communicated to the employees of an organization, which means that everybody in the organization should have an idea with clarity that what is the vision of my company. A good vision can have a lot of benefits to the company. In 1996, a strategist by the name Mark Lipton listed down few benefits. The first benefit, according to Mark Lipton, is that a vision enhances a wide range of performance measures. So if you know that what exactly you want to become, it can help you to actually elicit and build up a list of performance measure against which you can basically assess your performance. A good vision provides a basis for a strategic plan. We all know that having a plan is very important aspect of any company. And a good plan will only come in onto a table if the company has clarity on its own vision. A vision promotes change. Students, we know that the only constant thing is change. And companies which evolve with the changing times generally succeed in the long run. So, good vision actually promotes change within the corporations. A vision motivates individuals and facilitates recruitment of talent. Ultimately, employees play a very critical role in the success of any organization. And good organizations are able to recruit talented people to work for them. Even if the employee working in a company has an average level of talent, but he's motivated enough, then also the company can achieve success. And there is enough research evidence which indicates that a good vision motivates people to actually work and realize that vision. Finally, a good vision statement keeps decision making in the context. It's important for the decision makers to know that under what context are they working. And if there is clear clarity of the context and there is clear clarity that where the company is heading to, it also ensures effective decision making. So let us understand what is a vision. A vision statement of an organization has to be in a written form. Verbal vision statement do not really work. Vision statement of an organization should be inspiring and should provide a base to frame strategy for achieving the ultimate vision of the organization. Typically, the normal span of a vision statement is 10 to 20 years, and it articulates the ultimate long range goal of an organization. Let us look at few examples of inspiring vision statements. NTPC, which is one of the leading thermal power company, the vision of this company is to be world's largest and best power producer, powering India's growth. The vision of ITC, which is again a large conglomerate in India, its vision statement says sustain ITC's position as one of India's most valuable corporation through world-class performance, creating growing value for the Indian economy and companies' stakeholders. Just look at the keywords what ITC basically is talking about. It's talking about valuable corporation, it's talking about world-class performance, it talks about creating growing value, not only for the stakeholders but Indian economy at large. International company Nike has a very crystal clear vision statement which says that the vision of Nike is to be the number one athletic company in the world, which means they're very clear about that what exactly is their business line, and they say that they want to be an athletic company, right? So whatever is the requirement of an athlete, the company is keen to provide that. Let us look at the vision statement of Google, right? Students, we all know that Google has really transformed the way we live and work. So the vision of Google is to organize world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So we all know that how many times in a day we actually Google and find out information, and Google has really made life so simple for all of us. Finally, let us look at another international company which touches our life, Coca-Cola. Right? So the Coca-Cola company, while presenting its vision statement, focuses on following factors. So they have identified 6 different P's while communicating its vision. It talks about people, it's talk about portfolio of products, the third P is partners, fourth P is planet, right? So which means very interesting. So they are also considering planet as part of the vision. Fifth P is profit, and the sixth P is productivity. So the vision statement talks about these 6 P's, which it communicates it to its employees and also inspire them to work towards realizing its vision. So students, we have seen few vision statements of Indian as well as multinational companies. Let us see that what is the characteristic of a good vision statement. So the following are listed onto the slide. The first and the foremost important characteristic is that a good vision statement should be future focused. It should answer the following question, that how will our organization look in 10 years from now? When I say that the vision statement should be future focused, I basically mean that it should focus and promote long term thinking within an organization. Some of the companies in Japan, you would be interested to know that they have a vision of the company, that what will be the company look like 100 years from now, right? So that is the amount of future orientation such companies have. Second characteristic of a good vision statement is clarity, that it should be clearly articulated and should be easy to understand for even the junior most employee in an organization. Students, remember that vision statement is not meant only for the managerial people in an organization. So even the junior most employee who might not be that educated should understand that what is the vision of my company. Setting up a vision statement does not mean putting up complicated words which are very difficult to understand. Third, the vision statement should be relevant, which means that it should be relevant to an organization in all times without forgetting the history and values of the organization. Vision statements do not change every 5 years. So, which means the management has to really set forth a vision statement which remains relevant for all time periods. For example, we saw the vision statement of Google, right? It simply stated organize world's information and make it accessible, right? So, whatever times, even after 10 years, even after 20 years, though the technology would change the way information is generated, but it remains relevant for times to come. Vision statement should be challenging. It should not build in complacency within the employees. A good vision statement should be challenging enough and should set high standards, enabling the members of organization to perform. And it should be inspirational, which means it should inspire all the employees to move them emotionally and guide them towards a meaningful purpose. It should actually touch the hearts of the people, because people, those a good vision statement which is able to touch the heart of the employees, they will definitely give more than 100% towards achieving the long term purpose of an organization. A lot of companies rely on the framework given by Jim Collins and Jerry Porras in their classic article published in Harvard Business Review in 1996, which ultimately proposes how successful companies create their vision statement. According to this article, there are two major components of establishing an effective vision statement. These two components include, first is the core ideology and second is the envisioned future. If we talk about the core ideology basically defines a company's timeless character, a character which does not changes with time. This is an integral to the process of setting up the company's vision. While framing the core ideology, companies should focus on two components. First is what are the core values of the company, and second, what is the core purpose. Core values are the handful of beliefs or the guiding principles or tenets that are absolutely non-negotiable within the organization, which means nothing can actually change the beliefs of the organization. Similarly, if we talk of the core purpose, it is the organization's fundamental reason for being. Right? So, after discussing the core ideology, let us talk about the next dimension, which is Envision Future. Envision Future is the means through which core ideology is translated into a tangible goal. According to this particular model, the long-term goal is described as BHAG, right? So we pronounce it as BHAG, where B stands for big, hairy, audacious goals, right? So the goals which the company set should be big enough and should be motivating enough for everyone to actually achieve it. The BHAGs can be measured and companies can easily make an assessment on the progress of these goals. I once again emphasize that the goals should be inspiring so that it stimulates the employee and get the people going, right? So the envision future and the BHAG is a very important dimension of this particular framework. So let us see that what is the framework that was given by Collins and Porras, right? So students, they say that vision has two dimensions, the core ideology and the envision future. Further, core ideology has core values and core purpose, and envision future has two aspects. One is the BHAG goals and the vivid description. So while formulating the vision, we need to find answers for the following questions. The first answer that we need to find out is that where are we now? It's important for any organization to know that what is its current position. Where do we want to go? Right? So what exactly we really want to be, right? So once you find out the answer for that, where do you want to go and where do we want to be, it really helps in formulating the vision. Equally important is to find out answer for that why is this important to us, right? So if we want to reach point X or point Y, we also need to find out an answer that why is it important to us. If you find the answer for what are the obstacles in the way, that what actually prevents us from reaching there. Are there any obstacles that can actually create problem for us to reach there? It's important to find out those obstacles and then find out what actions can we take to overcome them, right? So in case if there are obstacles in the way, it's also important to find out answers that how can we overcome those obstacles. Find out the answer for what are our priorities, right? So for a company, it's important to know that what exactly are the priorities so that it does not end up doing things which are not part of its priority framework. And when do we know that we are on track, right? So assessing the performance is equally important, right? So students, as we know that milestones play a very important role in finding out that are we moving on the right track or not. So it's important for set up the performance measures to know that whether we are moving on track. So this can really help in formulating a good vision for a company. Now let's try to understand what is mission. Mission gives you an answer of why organization exists, and it also defines the path to achieve the vision of an organization. A firm's mission describes the organization in terms of the business it is in, the customer it serves, and the skills it intends to develop to fulfill its vision. In other words, the mission statement is the heart of the company. The mission tries to answer the following questions. What do we do today? For whom do we do it? What is the benefit of whatever we are doing today? So once we have defined what a mission is, let us look into the mission statement of few major companies. Earlier we discussed about the vision statement of ITC. Let us look at the mission of ITC. The mission statement of ITC reads as to enhance the wealth generating capability of the enterprise in a globalizing environment, delivering superior and sustainable stakeholder value. So it talks about wealth generating capabilities. And the company is aware that they're operating in a globalized environment, which can bring its own challenges. The mission statement of Harley Davidson is we fulfill dreams through the experience of motorcycling by providing to motorcyclists and to the general public an expanding line of motorcycles and branded products and services in the selected market segment. So Harley Davidson is absolutely clear that it wants to focus only on the motorcycling business and the experience of the motorcyclist. We discussed about the factors that Coca-Cola considers while putting up its vision statement. So the mission of Coca-Cola reads as to refresh the world, to inspire moments of optimism and happiness, and to create value and make a difference. So we've been seeing in the recent past that Coca-Cola's most of the advertising communication talks about creating happiness. And that is what Coca-Cola is trying to achieve in terms of refreshing the world, inspiring moments of optimism and happiness. Let us look into the characteristics of a good mission statement. The first characteristic is that it should be simple. As we discussed in the case of vision, even mission statement should be simple. Simple so that everybody in the organization is able to understand it really well. The mission statement should be specific. As we saw that Harley Davidson is very specific in terms of defining its mission statement. The mission statement should be realistic, which means though ambition is very important, but we cannot compromise on the realistic aspect of a good mission statement. Only realistic statements are achievable. So that's an important dimension. Number four, a good mission statement should also communicate the strategic position of the company. Right? So we saw that in some of the mission statements, the company talks about becoming world number one. So vis-a-vis your competitor, how do you position yourself? That should be communicated in the mission statement. A mission statement should be relevant to the stakeholders. As we saw that ITC uses this term stakeholders and shareholders in its vision and mission statement. And it should also have a long-term orientation. Right? So we know that vision is futuristic, but the mission should also have a long-term orientation when it is framed like a statement. So a mission should focus on the following things. First, it should define what the company is. Also define what are the key values and beliefs that a company holds. A mission statement should focus on the concern for satisfying multiple stakeholders. That is, mission is meant for not only for the shareholders but for all the stakeholders. And a good mission should actually put into perspective the issues of all the stakeholders. A mission should focus on distinctive competence. Right? So we talked about that one of the characteristic is strategic positioning. So what is the competence that the firm has that can help the company to be different from the competitors? So it should focus on the distinctive competence of the company. A mission should focus on and should be broad enough to allow for creative growth. Students, growth is an important aspect of any company. And if the company is able to grow creatively, it really helps the company in the long run. What is the desired competitive position? And also it should focus on the competitive strategy that the company intends to use. As Harley Davidson was very specific in terms of the customers it intends to serve. So mission should focus on specific customers served and products or services offered. It should serve as a framework to evaluate the current activities of the company. And last but not the least, it should be stated clearly so that it is understood by all. The first characteristic that we discussed was simplicity. Vision and mission should be simple enough so that everybody in the organization really understands it really well in the spirit that it has intended to be framed. Let us look into the difference between vision and mission. So we have taken 6 different bases to differentiate between vision and mission. The first basis of difference is time. Vision is basically long-term oriented, whereas mission is short-term oriented. Short-term does not necessarily mean few months or a year. A company could change its mission every 2 years, 3 years or 5 years. The second basis for difference is the focus. Vision basically focuses on the future, whereas mission focuses on the present. What is the answer do we get from the vision statement? Vision basically tries to find answer to the following question: where organization wants to be in future, whereas mission tries to find answer to this question: why organization exists. In terms of flexibility, vision normally does not change, whereas mission may change. So there is high level of flexibility in the mission statement. So in terms of followed, vision is followed by mission, whereas mission is followed by employees and policies itself. The last basis of difference is development. So when development a vision statement, you have to think about the values that the firm hold. Whereas while you are developing the mission statement, you talk about the actions that the firm take. So after understanding the difference between vision and mission, let us now focus on what do we understand by goals and objective. A goal is an overarching principle that guides the decision making of an organization. A goal basically illustrates what is to be achieved in some future time frame. Goals are related directly to the vision and mission, and they direct everyday actions and decisions. On the other hand, objectives are more specific. They are measurable steps that can be taken to meet the goal. They specify organizational issues and milestones. The objectives should fulfill the SMART criteria, where S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for time bound. Let us look into the difference between goals and objectives. Goals basically define where you want to go, whereas objective define how do we get there. Goals helps you to increase effectiveness, whereas objective, they basically back the goals and make you more efficient. Goals are described in words, whereas objectives are supported with numbers and specific dates. Let us look into what are the various examples of business goals. So you can have goals like increasing customer satisfaction, improving employee satisfaction, introducing new products or services, increase the brand equity. Companies could set up goals like diversifying into new markets or penetrating into existing markets. Companies can set up goals like reducing the operational cost or could have increased the network with the shareholders, or finally enhancing profitability by reducing costs. There are certain checklists if followed can really help the company to set up good vision and mission statement. The goals and objectives should always be linked to the mission and vision of the company. They should always be measurable. Goals can be designed keeping in view the acronym ACES, where A stands for achieve, C stands to conserve, E stands for eliminate, and S stands for steer clear. It should be simple and clear. Goals and objectives should be specific and realistic and should be acceptable with the values of the company and employees. However, while setting up goals and objectives, the flexibility part should be kept into consideration so that it can be changed and adopted whenever needed. Let us look into few examples that will help you to clarify that how goals and corresponding objectives are set forth. So if the goal is improving profitability, the corresponding objective can be net profit as a percentage of sales. If the goal is to increase volume, it can be achieved by setting up the corresponding objective like increase the market share. If the goal is to provide stability, the corresponding objective can be to reduce the variance in seasonal sales. If the goal is to improve company's image, the corresponding objective can be what is the allocation of money for socially responsible activities. So students, let us now summarize what we have learned in this module. Setting up a vision and mission of a company is considered to be a very important step in strategic management. It basically gives direction to the company and acts as a reference point in the future. The two major components of establishing the effective vision and mission statement are core ideology and envisioned future. We also discussed about goals and objectives, where goals are related directly to the vision and mission, where our objectives are more specific measurable steps that can be taken to meet that goal. Thank you very much.